out there. But we're here today to have a little fun, build a little content, chat. We have a previous guest from one of our other podcasts on, Chris Bernam. She is with Zeke's Animal Rescue here in Baldwin County, but don't let that get you twisted up. She's looking for some homes to house some puppies and some capital to help her do some of the things that she'll talk about. Anyway, how's it going?
It's going very well.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I'll just tell you, I don't the other two gentlemen have looked at the website on Zeke's Rescue Paws. So I have two that I'm trying. One of them is Jennifer, and I got her a home. She did a meet and greet.
Cutting out a little bit. Did everybody? Could you guys hear?
I could not.
Okay. Let's try it one more time. Are you on a microphone or your phone?
I'm on my.
Okay, well, I can edit this, so I'm actually learning, so we can edit that out. Let's try it one more time. Maybe I'm looking for. You don't have any echo. You don't have any echo issues. It's just it seemed to be coming in and out. So let's give it a shot. Let's give it one more shot. Go ahead. Still not working. Weird. Okay. Same. Wonder why it's not coming through. You got bars? You got a lot of bars?
I do. I have a full set.
There you go.
That's good there.
No,
Okay.
now you're good. All right, 5 seconds and then we'll start it back up. See.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So currently I have two rescues. I have Juniper. She came to us about 2 weeks ago. She had a meet and greet tonight at my house, and they decided that they wanted to take her. So tomorrow they'll meet at my house and pick her up. So therefore, that leaves Noah. And he's 2 years old. There's absolutely nothing wrong with him. One of my classmates, I lived in Panama for a couple of years, and one of my classmates said, "Chris, what's wrong with Noah? Why does he keep getting overlooked?" And I said, "Nothing. There's nothing wrong with him. He just keeps getting overlooked."
You said Panama City or Panama, like?
Panama, yeah. I'm an Army. So we moved.
You're still cutting out for some reason. Are we moving around?
Where I'm at. Do you think it's where I'm at? I'm in my stepfather's office.
Where were you last time? Were you in there?
In the kitchen.
It's not doing it now.
Yeah,
It's weird.
good right now.
Yeah. Again, don't worry about it because I can edit these things out. It's good that I learned that.
Let me try to go outside.
Okay.
Walk around the block, right? Like on out here.
Once we make it big and everybody has to move into one city and location, and
Here, let me turn the light on. What about now? Am I echoing? Am I doing it?
nope, you're good right now. You're really good.
Okay, I'm gonna sit right here and then let the.
You got your hair done, didn't you?
Huh?
You got your hair done since last time, didn't you?
Thanks, Chris. No, I just
You
did.
didn't. It looks a little. I mean, it just looks a little. It looks a little blonder. So
It does? No.
yeah.
I'm getting it done tomorrow.
Lighting.
Oh, well, maybe you shouldn't. No, I'm kidding. It does look good though.
No,
All
my-
right, let's go. We're going to talk about. Let's start with Jupiter or Juniper.
Juniper.
Juniper. Let's start with Juniper, and then after that, I'm gonna ask you like how you got started, this, that, and the other, and then we'll get into the good stuff.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So Juniper, she had a meet and greet tonight at my house, and the family decided that they wanted to pick her up tomorrow, so they'll meet me back here. What's funny is when they came into the home, she goes, "You know, I know your sister," and I'm like, "No." She goes, "Yeah," and I'm, "How do you know my sister?" She says, "Her husband is part of a Chicago Bear Club that they're all a part of.
No.
And I was like, really? And so it's a small world. Foley is a small world. Everybody
Yeah, that's a lot of them. Yeah.
to Foley.
I'm surprised there's anybody in that club though. But anyway, so tell us a little bit about your story, how you got going. I know you hadn't grown up thinking about being an animal rescuer all your life, so kind of give us a little heads up on that.
No. So I ran across an old Facebook post from 2013, right before I got Zeke. And it was funny because it popped up on my Facebook and it says, when I grow up, of course I'm grown, when I grow up, I want to run an animal rescue. And I just thought, how strange was that that I would have said something such as that. I mean, I was just like throwing words out in the air, but here I am. 10 years later, I lost Zeke. Good Friday, it'll be 1 year. And he had hemangiosarcoma. Had no idea. He was fine. And then he collapsed.
Right.
So to rush him to Pensacola because it was Good Friday and there was no vets that were open. So they called me in there and this Chris, you might want to sit down. And like I said, I told you last time, I said, oh, this is not good news. So she told me, and I didn't have any time to prepare. He was active right then.
I've been there before. It's not good.
Yeah, no. So they humanely euthanized him. And I had a really, really hard time with that because he had been with me. My daughters were preteens when we were living in Pennsylvania. And so he had been with me through all of the, teenage years with them and a lot of new chapters in my own life. And we moved from Pennsylvania to Illinois and then from Illinois to Hollywood, California. So we had a lot of life together. And,
Sure.
My kids are grown, one of them's married. And so it was just he and I. And so I was like, all right, you're my road dog. So we've done a lot of excursions together. So losing him was kind of hard because, I know a lot of people are in the same situation. A lot of them are empty nesters. A lot of them are single people. I just didn't think, it's going to last forever, but I didn't want to think about it.
Sure.
It hit me hard. And I started volunteering at Baldwin County Animal Shelter. And like I told you before, I didn't have anything to offer. I did it more for selfish reasons than anything else. But when I saw those dogs in those kennels, they just it was the look that they gave me. I sort of like stepped out of my own feeling sorry for myself and I started investing in them. And boy, did I invest in them. I was
going to have Sarah on this for this moment. I forgot, Yeah. Remember last time we were in the arms of an angel, But today I've been running, so I apologize. But
I've got a lot of dogs adopted by that song.
I bet. Every time I see it, I'm like, do we have any more room? I mean, it's crazy. So it's kind of like the old for just one cup of coffee. You can, and I'm just like, can we just bring those guys over here and instead of but yeah, it's a touchy thing with me. Dogs have always, I think everybody here always have had a large part. And I remember back when I was a young guy, and our dog gets sick, my dad would be like, "Whoop, be right back," and he'd go somewhere in the truck, come back, like, no dog no more. So but yeah, I've been there.
Amazing.
Go ahead, yeah.
And it's amazing how many dogs actually go live in the country.
Oh, right, to the farm. I'm taking him to the farm. He's going to be fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've been there, and then I've also been to the point where I've been there at a point in my life where there's no way in the world I would have been able to spend the money that I needed to spend the money on the dog, and that was another way of and then I've been there to the point where you do have the means and you do spend the money, so It's a tough ballgame.
Speaking of money and loss, I'll throw a little story in here. I know a guy really well. This is probably 30 years ago, and the dog went missing. It was a beagle dog, a little hunting dog, and finally found him. And he had been kind of halfway hit by a car, wasn't doing real great.
Yeah.
And I was with the guy, and I'm like, hey, we could take him in. He's like, I could just get another dog for $35. And so, you know, and that
I'm not laughing at it.
I think that's how a lot of us grew up. You know, dogs, man, they live outside. They this, they this, they this, they this. And cut to 5 years ago had a similar experience with a golden retriever. You know, he went into the bed on Friday afternoon, never came out. And I've lost my mom and my dad, and nothing hit me immediately like losing that dog. Now I think that you know, when you lose a person, your defense goes up, and you kind of brace. But when there's a dog, you don't do it, and it all comes out. And you know, I wrote this crazy poem about this dog, and I'm like, and the truth is, I'm like, I don't even really like him that much. Well, the truth is, I really do. I love him. But I grew up like, you know, I was freaking dog time to free, get him outside, whatever. He's in the house, whatever. And I've changed a lot over the years, thanks to my wife. But it's amazing. Absolutely. It is amazing the loss you feel and what comes after that. So I know you've gone through that, and but you know, like anything, it seems like that really good can come out of pretty crappy if you look for it. So, which is what you said.
You got a family dog story, Jim?
Yeah, we actually had a little dog that we had rescued from this couple. They had a litter, and
did you go in with a SWAT team?
Do what?
Did you go in with a SWAT team with their sirens, with a helicopter?
You're rescuing them?
No. Well, we kind of did.
Good for you.
We went in because the family they were planning on killing the leftover dog. So we brought the dog home, and we wasn't even living in our house then. We were staying in a rental house, and so we brought the dog home anyway. Well, fast forward, we love to grow. I mean, we grew to love Max, great dog. A little bit of mix of shepherd and maybe lab and something else. But the problem was he started having seizures. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
And the fact that they just kept getting worse. So we put him on medicine, then we had to up the medicine, then we had to up the medicine again. And then after a while, we were finally determining, you know, we're only keeping this dog around for our pleasure. The dog is suffering.
Right.
And that was probably one of the hardest ones we've had to deal with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But another great story, though, is real quick, and you'll appreciate this, Chris. Where I lived in my neighborhood growing up, had a little dog come up, a little bitty Shih Tzu, came up to my mom and dad's house, and my cousin and her daughters lived up the street. Well, my dad said, no more dogs. I'll never have another dog. I'll never have another dog. Just on and on. Well, my dad was kind of hard, and, you know, he said, no dog ever.
Mm-hmm.
Takes the dog. He gets my little nieces to take the dog back to where this goes. So they come back and tell him, hey, we took the dog, and they tied it up to a tree out in the front yard. The dog was maybe 12 weeks, 13, 14 weeks old.
Like tiny, 2 pounds?
Tiny. Yeah, tiny Shih Tzu. So my dad gets my nieces. He tells them, hey, show me where you took this dog. They show him where they took it. My dad gets out of the car. He goes up to the dog, unties it, goes up, knocks on the door and says, I'm taking this dog with me. He turns around and leaves, and he kept the dog after that.
Wow.
So,
that's cool, man. You know, short end of that. My dad used to be that way, but now he's got 2 dogs, little dogs. No, he's got 3 little dogs. That I think the pecking order is 3 little dogs, and then maybe mom, and then maybe me. I don't know. You know, I mean, it's like
yeah.
So we do change. Even though, man, back in the day, I hated all that too. But I mean, it was just kind of that Old Yeller moment. You know, it was like, well, he's sick. Well, what do we got to do? Well, what'd they do on Old Yeller?
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean, 2 dogs I've got now, I would go bankrupt for. So let's just hope I don't have to. Knock on wood. But
well, I got another one, Noah. Pretty sure that you could go bankruptcy bankrupt for a third one, right?
I'm not sure if I heard the third one. You have to talk to Danny about that.
Looking for some commitment.
Is it the black and white one?
No, it's Noah, the white and brown one with the dark circles.
What kind of dog is it?
I think he's got some beagle in him, but he's a bully mix.
Oh, he's nice looking. I know.
Dog, good looking.
Both the dogs I saw are great looking dogs.
Yeah, yeah. So Noah he's a little over 2 years old. He's fixed. He's everything. He's had all his shots. Noah doesn't know personal space. Okay, he's always has a smile on his face. And I went over to see him tonight at his foster's house, and I took him some food, and I always bring him some treats and toys. And so he knows me, by that. And every time he sees me, he's like. So I come in and he's just like, give me the treat. I give him Super Chewer toys from BarkBox. So BarkBox is trying to sponsor me.
Yeah, we got BarkBox. Yeah, I love BarkBox. I love them a whole lot more if they sponsor us, though. Yeah, a whole lot more.
That's right. So I gave him his BarkBox Super Chewer toys, and then I brought in some other treats, and I told the fosters, I said, now this is crack for Noah and all the dogs that were at the Baldwin County Animal Shelter. It was their little sweet potato wrapped up chicken jerkies, and it cracked all of the rescue dogs that were in Baldwin County Animal Shelter. And so I said, now he loves these. And so he's standing there and he's looking at me. And so I opened it up and he's just like, oh yeah, bring it on. So I gave him one and he's like, yes. And I said, now give it to him sparingly because he will eat the whole thing.
Right.
So anyway, the fosters and I were talking, and I said, I don't know, because Noah is 2. He's 2 now. I think Noah is going to be a puppy until he gets older. And some dogs are just like that. Some, they just stay a puppy forever. He's always ready for, whatever's new. Let's do it. Let's get it on. And, let's go for a walk. His fosters are 75 years old. And they walk him 4 times a day.
Right.
Yeah. And so he's always ready. And then afterwards, he wants to be a couch potato with you, right? And he'll lay into you. Like he'll just lean up against you and then, just rub me. So I want to home him with an active family. Okay. Someone that's not going to just, unfortunately, the person that had him before, she kept him in a crate a lot. And so he gained like a lot of weight. And so the fosters they've got almost all of the weight off of him. So he looks really good. And he's back to his fighting weight. So I'd like to home him with a family that's, a single dude, a young couple, or a family with a child that's at least 8. He's not aggressive. He knows nothing aggressive. He loves our dog, our kids, but he's muscular, and he just loves me. You know what I mean? So it might be a little too much for a young child, but at least 8 and up. I think he would be perfect. And we're
talking about Noah, right?
We're talking about Noah.
Yeah, I'm looking at him. I tried to get it to come over, and it wouldn't come over for some reason. Yeah. But
we're gonna have
he's a great little dog. I like him.
We're gonna have a little date on Saturday night. He and I. He's gonna stay the night with me. So Miss Chris is gonna get him a puppuccino from Starbucks.
There you go.
Sweet.
Man, I wish I could get it up there. Cute pup. You can see it on Zeke's Rescue Paws on Facebook. Mm-hmm. You can see all the pups there that they have. Chris does some things, and this is while she's outreaching. She does some things that many people don't. If she rescues a dog and they need all their shots, she pays for all their shots. If she rescues a dog and someone actually homes the dog, if she feels like they can't afford things, she'll take food over to the dog. I'm talking about after it's done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she'll give them all their shots. She homes them herself until she gets them somewhere. I mean, she's
spayed and neutering,
everything. She pays for all of it. So you have somebody that really, really, really cares about what she's doing, and you know that's why Danny and I picked her for this year to support through the business and do some things for her.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun. It's going to be we're gonna go to some of the adventures that she has, and probably have to fight really hard not to get another dog, but you know, whatever. See what happens. You know,
Yeah.
if the good Lord wants us to have one, we'll have one. But just great. And her mother stole my heart when we had lunch. Her mother's we couldn't have her mother on here, or we'd have to talk to her for like 4.5 hours.
Yeah. Let's not tell her to fall in love with her, please.
Oh, she's just great though. I mean, she's so great. But
thinking that it's my turn. No, it's not your turn.
right. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna do some stuff for her. But so that's cool. You had mentioned wanting to migrate. Not that you want to get out of Baldwin County, but maybe migrate up north a little bit towards like the Montana area.
Yeah.
And we spoke on it a little bit, and I did a little research, and I couldn't really find a wonderful answer as to. I know why, because it's a cooler environment, I guess. But I wanted you to kind of expand on that a little bit more, if you don't mind. I had a couple people ask, why would you want to, move up and up and down this and that. So, what else could you say about that?
Well, right after I started getting into this, I had a lot of people come at me with a lot of information.
Sure.
Very quickly. And they said, Chris, I know we talked about being politically correct. It's hard for me because I just think...
Handle your business. Come on with it. I got some tough questions now. So
Baldwin County, saturated with dogs. Dumped, neglected, fighting dogs. And they said the best thing you can do is move them up north. So that is my goal. It works very well. I know that there's other shelters that are doing the very same thing. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why, unless they can't get the dogs, up north. I don't know. But I've had several people. I had one lady in Maine ask me, she goes, I'll go down as far as Massachusetts and I'll get, one of your dogs. She lived in Florida and she moved back up to Maine. And,
sure.
And at the time, I didn't have any way to transport. Well, someone reached out to me a couple of weeks ago and said, Chris, I'll do it.
That's cool. Dude, all your people on your Facebook, yeah, they are like mad supporting you.
I have a lot of people that I don't know that watch my page. And then, they reach out to me and I'm like, how did you know, right?
You gotta worry a little bit, and then it's like, yeah, okay, sure, I hear you.
Yeah. So that's my. I don't know what Montana or if it's northern states, South Dakota, North Dakota, Colorado, but I know a lot of dogs are moved up there.
Right.
So I just they don't spay and neuter them down here.
Right. Gotcha.
How many dogs do you come upon? I mean, how do you come upon your rescue dogs? And I mean, what's your is there an average that you bring in, or?
Okay, so it's funny. I have had to board some of my rescues at kennels, boarding facilities, and I just pay them until I can home them. I have had a couple of, one of my board members, she took in 2 dogs, and she now has kept them. I have to have fosters in order to take in the rescues, so I can get my facility. That's my goal, facility, to help take off some of the pressure from the shelters and other rescues, because it's really bad down here. Mm-hmm. I keep saying, my Facebook is full of this dog is found, this dog is found, this dog is found. I'm like, do you not watch your dogs?
Right.
Around. I understand that they get out, but we have to do better. And no one microchips. No.
I'm assuming that's across the United States, Matt. I mean, I'm sure you see it up there, rescue dogs a lot.
It's an interesting thing. I don't near as much. I don't know
Really?
as much, and I'm sitting here thinking, and I've got just like I got questions, bro. I got lots of questions.
Come on, man. Handling your business.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think it's just curious things. But I think one of the questions that I was going to ask you is what do you think are the and I've got my ideas, but what do you think are the reasons? Like, well, how does a dog end up in a shelter? How does a dog end up on the side of the road? How does a dog and what are the denominate maybe the common denominators in that? And if you and I think to me there's like probably a couple different things, but if you could tell people one thing, like, hey, XYZ, and that would like reduce these dogs that end up in a bad spot. That's a lot of questions right there. But what? How do you think this happens? And then I might tell you like what I see up here.
I think that economics. I think
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think that people sometimes get a dog with the best of intentions.
Sure.
And oops, we can't afford it anymore, or we're just it's not cute like I thought it would be. Now, these are various different things, not all in one. I think, if a dog is sick, we don't have the money for the vet bill. Or the newest thing I was told by some random guy, and I was like, that was interesting that you said this to me. He goes, people get a dog, they're going to move into an apartment or a rental, and they can't have dogs. So, boop, there goes Rover right out the car door.
Yeah.
And I think it's various reasons, but my hope is that most of it is economics. They don't have a job. I've had several people reach out to me and say, Chris, I lost my job, or I don't get paid. Do you have a bag of food? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Tell me what you need and I'm going to get it. So I'd rather reach out and have people say, Chris, can you help me? Than don't abandon them. People think that animals are just, they're expendable.
Yeah.
That's another one.
Yeah.
They have feelings too. And I ran across something the other night that really stuck with me. They said, this guy said, if he's asked his friends, if I die before my dog does, let him see that I died, because they understand, they smell it, whatever. Because if you don't, he'll think that I abandoned him.
Wow.
And I was like, I never thought about that. I didn't.
Yeah.
So I just think our economy, there are some out there. There was one that was in the shelter that was abused, and they put cigarettes out on the dog.
Yeah.
And he succumbed to his injuries at the vet. And it was probably some meth head.
Yeah. I think
That's
to me, that's the deal right there. I think you can look at it with any sort of bad thing happening in our society, whether it's abandoned children, abused children, domestic abuse, whatever the case is. I think so much of it corresponds or correlates with economics and stress, and it's like broken humans do broken things, man. And it just seems that so much runs in line with economics, and that's a sad thing to say, but it is. And I think what I would say about Montana, and of course I grew up in Birmingham. I've spent a lot of time that way, and I've been here for quite a while now. But when I moved here, it's almost like it's a step back in time. And there's less people around, and which I've developed something called the elbow room theory. It's like you got way less chance of being a jerk because you have a little more elbow room. We're not just running all over each other. So even that, and even in the folks, and don't get me wrong, we have some poverty here, we have some economic trouble here, but it's like the values that undergird society are just a little more intact here. So it's like, dude, dogs are prized here. They're valued here. Like, and my wife. So back to that story. My wife is from Montana. When I first met her, I had a great little Dalmatian dog. She comes up, she moves in. She's coming and she's going to start living with me. And she's like, "Why's your dog out there?" Because I had a built-in kennel. I was like, "Well, that's where he lives. He lives outside. The dog's outside. He's got hair. I mean, are you kidding me? Dog inside? I wear a suit every day. Not happening." So she's like, "Oh, that's interesting." And then about 2 weeks later, she moved in with me, and about a week later, the dog moved in, and I've had a dog in the house ever since. But the point is that she came from a spot where it's like, hey, dogs are part of your family. They are valuable. They are not, as you know, and you know, I think some of it is just well, there's a lot of things, but yeah, we just don't value them. I don't think we just don't see what they are. And you're right, man. The first bill that's late or the first something that's this doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter. It's just a damn dog. Well, what a lot of people think.
Yeah. I also think, and I could be wrong, but up in your world, dogs probably do what they're bred to do more. There's probably a lot more working dogs in Montana on the farms and the ranches, I assume.
There really are. There really are. But I'll say this: there's a lot of Australian Shepherds, a lot of Blue Heelers because they're cow dogs and they do good work, and they work. But at the same time, you'll see a F-350 flatbed rolling down the road at 60 miles an hour. Dog is on the toolbox on top of the flatbed. Nothing holding them in. That's just how it rolls. It's like, hey, go, jump up, go. They're gone. Yeah. At the gas station, they're there. I mean, they're barking at you, but they're doing their job. But it's like, but to some extent, it's like, hey, if homeboy takes a tumble, well, we're just gonna get us another one. Because but they do care about them, and they do work. There's a lot of that.
I had a dog in Fultondale where we all lived, and I was going to try to be cool and bring him down to Winn-Dixie. I threw him in the back of the truck, got about 500 feet down Walker Chopper Road. He jumped out, broke his leg. And luckily, we took him to the vet and got him fixed. I was like, I guess they have to be trained to be in the back of a truck. I just thought it was like, you know, dog knowledge. Hey, you put me in the back of the truck. You know,
I know. Hey, it's still, you know, I still got a little bit of me. I'll get on the tractor out here. I'll start moving some grass, moving some dirt, moving some, you know, cleaning horse pens or whatever. And my wife's like, watch out for the dog. Don't run over the dog. And I'm like, well, that's kind of up to him. I got a tractor right here.
Now, he's going to hide behind a bushel.
I do watch for him. I really do. And it would just crush me if something hurt. But still, my gut reaction is like, you better stay out the way. I'm running a tractor.
Yeah.
You know, but I do watch for him. But still, she's looking. She's the lover. She's looking out for him, and I do too. And my softest, I absolutely do. But anyway, as you would.
I was just going to ask. Yeah, I was just going to ask. Do you have is there a certain type of dog that's more commonly brought in that you have to rescue? Is there is it bigger, smaller? Is there a certain look? I guess.
Most of the dogs down here, I say most, not all, they're all bully breed. They're mixed with lab, they're mixed with hound, they're mixed with pointer, they're mixed. I mean, I had one that had a German Shepherd head and I call them Wiener Schnitzel dogs. And her name was Mary, just the most precious dog in the world. But, you know, if you look at her a certain way, it's like her head's bigger than her body. But most of them are the bully mixes.
Like pit bull?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris,
I see that a lot on your page.
Do you have a favorite type of dog?
So,
or maybe that's just yes, all dogs. I don't know.
All dogs, yes. Zeke, Sheltie.
Sure.
Special to me. I'll always have a tender spot for Zeke. But I have come to love the bully breed.
Really?
Yes.
Like bulldog, pit bull.
Huh?
Like a bulldog mix or a pit bull mix or something? Is that what you mean?
I love them.
Okay.
Let me just share a story. So, the foster that has Noah told me tonight that he's had some health issues. And so he had a really bad headache one night, and Noah got up on the chair with him. Not that there was room for Noah, but Noah got up on the chair here with him and laid his head right here on his chest.
That's good stuff.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Do you think that there are so we have a golden mix that's a mix with an Irish setter, and we have a straight golden. By the way, Bozeman, Montana, golden retriever capital of the flipping world. It must be. You ain't nobody unless you have a golden retriever or four. Anyways,
Yeah.
they're really different. These two dogs that I have are really different. One of them is I feel like he's like freaking empath. You know, he is tuned in. If someone is upset, if someone is sick, he will just come and he'll be like, "What's up? You good?"
Yeah.
You know.
Put your head down. Yeah.
I know. And so, I mean, I guess, I don't know what the question is there, but it seems like, I mean, do you see that? Because you're talking about Noah doing that. Do you see that across dog breeds, or do you think there's, because I've always thought, well, Goldens are just that way, but would you
Sure.
say it's across dog breeds?
I do. I do. I did not know that bullies. I grew up being afraid of them. Oh, they're killer dogs. Those and Rotties.
Yeah.
And the more that I'm around them, the more I'm learning. No, they're inbred. A lot of them are inbred, and they're treated improperly. Okay, but Pond, Pond is one of the old buddies that I knew at the Baldwin County Animal Shelter, and his mom is about this big around. I mean, wet, right? And I honestly didn't think Pond was going to make it, and if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I came out around the yard one day, and this little tiny girl, I call her little girl, tiny. She was sitting there with him, and I said, "Are you thinking about getting Pond?" And she goes, "I am." I said, "Are you serious?" And she said, "Uh-huh." I started crying.
I bet. Yeah.
Because Pond looked he was a gray, and he looked very intimidating. And I just thought, oh goodness, this woman is very little, and I don't know. You know, she told me that Pond is the biggest baby, and he is her protector.
Wow.
I said I could not have asked for anything more. He's a baby.
Yeah, that kind of leads me. Look at me taking over here. That kind of leads me into the next of the 74 questions I have for you. So we'll be here till 11 p.m.
That's all right.
But yeah, I'm kidding. I love to exaggerate. But that was the thing, is what makes you feel best? Like, what is it like when something happens, and it sounds like that's one of them, but is there something else, like in the middle of the day, or something that's like just not really kind of a big deal, that you're like, this is it for me. I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And it may not be like that deal that you just said, because that seems pretty obvious. But is there there's like a bright spot in the day where you're like, holy crap, this is great. So glad I'm doing this.
Well, it's each of the stories that I can share of the dogs that have been owned. It's the joy that they are bringing. I don't. Chris, did I tell you about Tigger?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can tell you
Yeah.
about Tigger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Tigger, I just, he was an abused dog. Okay, and there's a backstory about Tigger. I found him. He got out from one of my rescues. Person, and they were on the hunt to try to find him, and all day long he kept evading them, and so they're like, what do we do, and I was like, I took it pretty personal, because I was like, he can't be out there, he was only 2. So I went back out to where they had found him. I started saying, he finally came to me. So the woman that adopted him, she said, Chris, I fell in love with him, and he is her baby now. Okay, he's protective of her. So when I sit and I think, and I was telling Chris, I want to make an album of all the dogs that I've come across, whether I've helped rehome them or just ones that I have seen be rehomed from the shelter. When I sit in a day, they do for me the loss of my dog.
Yeah.
Because I was telling Chris the last time, I don't know that I'll ever get over Zeke's loss. I
Sure.
don't.
Sure.
But I live my life through the dogs, and I'm happy. When the person that adopts them, it fills them with joy, and they need emotional support animal, whatever you want to call it. That makes me say, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Because
That's got to be a good feeling.
there's times, you guys, where I do want to give up. I won't lie to you.
Mm.
It's too much. I lose people. They come, they go, they come, they go. There's never enough money. And I just say, I can't. I started this. They have no voice. And they need someone to advocate for them. That's why I do what I do.
That's awesome.
It's cool. As people, and as a man myself, I go through life, and in the beginning of life, I didn't care too much about if I was making a difference. You go to work, you get paid. You go hang out, you go to work, you get paid, you get married, you have babies.
You buy stuff.
Am I making a difference? Am I making a difference?
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of things that, like he asked, what gets you? What gets you? You know what I mean? And I think that the cool thing about most people that do it, like you, it's not being able to say, I'm doing this as an ego thing.
Yeah.
More than you see when you're walking away.
Yeah.
And you hear that little kid in the back going, "Oh my God, we have a dog! Oh my God, what are we going to name it?" This, I feel that. I think that's your that's your place. That's
when I get one dog rehomed, another one comes immediately.
right.
Yeah, I'll say this. I think I'm like 74 years old, and so kidding. I'm a little younger than that. Anyways, but what I'm saying is I've been around a while, and I've lived in some different places, seen a lot of different things, and my trade is banking, and and lending, and so I go through a lot of loans, so I meet a lot of people. I see a lot of people who want to do something, and it doesn't, they might want to open a restaurant, they might want to do construction, whatever it is, they want to do something. And I've been in a lot of small towns where you see these small business owners, or whatever the case is. And in lending, a lot of times it comes down to, it's like, who's the operator and what do they like? Do they know what they're doing? What is in their belly? What matters? So next thing is that last night I go down to this little bar in town, and there's just bars all over the place here. But we went and had some supper. Guy comes out, it's just burgers or whatever, or steak fingers, matter of fact, pretty fantastic. Guy comes out, cooks them, or comes out and talks to us about the cooking. And this is it's like an $11 meal. This is nothing fancy.
Right.
And the guy comes out, and he's got pride in it, and he's asked us how's the steak fingers and how's this. And I'm like, here's what I'm getting at. People like you make things happen. Whether it is Jeff Bezos, whether it is Nick Saban, whether it is the guy down at the bar here cooking the steak fingers, or you, individuals, in my opinion, make this happen.
Lost your audio, Matt.
It came through. Yeah, it came through.
So I admire. I want to make something happen in life, and I admire what you're doing and making something happen. It's a beautiful thing, and when you're spreading joy, that's why we're here, dude. That's great.
Yeah, that's what it's about. It took a long time for me to catch that, but that's exactly what it's about.
Yeah.
We're having a pancake breakfast on Zeke's birthday, March 17th. And, the ticket sales, they're not so good right now. And I thought about just saying, okay, well, maybe next year. And then I thought, you know what? No, I'm going to go through. No matter how many people come, I'm setting a precedence so that next year, there's two things that Zeke is going to do each year. St. Patrick's Day, because it's on his birthday, and Pubbapalooza. So that you have to set a routine. And then people, you know what, let's do this. And I realize people have busy lives.
Sure.
But I'm going to do it. And I'm going to have fun, because we invited one of the shelters to come bring some dogs so that they can get home.
Yeah.
So I'm going to press on no matter what.
Where is it? Where is it going to be?
It's this place called The Farm.
Yep.
Oh, you know it?
So it's the place where they sell. I could be completely wrong, but it's off the beaten path, and they have a place where they actually sell candles and stuff in a barn, and then the farm's behind it, and they do all kind of special events there.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Never been.
I like
No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably all wrong, but yeah, let's get it out.
Yeah.
Let's talk
I'll
offline.
send you a flyer. I made
Yeah.
flyers.
Let's talk offline, and maybe we'll put a Facebook ad out or something.
Yeah.
See if we can get some people to come.
It's too bad I don't live in Foley because I love pancakes
Dude,
And guess what? There's a
and
room right
dogs.
over here that you can stay in,
and dogs. So
and beach, and
do you need a dog?
your buddy Chris. You love him.
Chris is
Well,
okay.
Don't ever
we
say you
actually,
can't come down, baby.
we have a Morkie who will be 10 in August, and he, like you were talking earlier, he is he's still a puppy. He still is, he's all the time going and wanting to play and this, and he wants to be in the lap of my wife. He'll sit there, and he'll just crawl up in her lap, and he'll just look at her, and just it's like all, hey, remember me? And so we picked up a kitten about a year ago. And so now him and the kitten are vying for attention. So they both get loved on.
Oh.
That's good.
Good.
Hey, Chris, what are your thoughts on cats? Because dogs and cats have had a long time adversarial relationship, at least according to cartoons and whatnot.
Right.
But are you a cat person as well? No comment. No comment. Moving on. Next question.
I love cats. I do.
Yeah.
And I think they're precious. And if I see a kitten or a cat on the side of the road, yes, I'm going to pick it up. Yes, I'm going to try to home it. Dogs are my vibe, right?
Love it.
I just think they have.
That's your thing, yeah. I will say this. Down here, I don't know, Danny, every time we go somewhere, I have to know where these little places are so we don't go by them. But, like, there's a little spot by a Mexican restaurant up in Foley, and once you park there, there's probably 30 or 50 cats, and they stay there.
Woo!
I don't know, is it a cubby or something? Whatever. Then there's all these little places in this city where if you pull behind this service station or if you turn left right here at this grocery store, there's going to be a horde of cats. And if Danielle hears meow, it's over.
That brings me to a question. Has anyone ever actually paid money for a cat? Seems to me like they're like it's like apple trees out. You just go pick one. There's just cats everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, my mom would be like, I'd be like, oh, cats, and she'd be like, oh, don't go over there. They have a lot of disease. Don't go over there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that was just like, hey, don't go over and pet that cat because guess what? That cat would be,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, I do like that they have the TNR program. I do like that. Animal Coalition, they work very hard to try to get the cats in. They trap them, they neuter them, spay them, and then they release them. Because, cats can take care of themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can find something to eat.
Sure.
Dogs, I mean, they can, but I don't know. I just think cats are more, in my opinion, cats are able to survive, right? More so sometimes than dogs are, when it comes to that. They can crawl up a tree if they're scared, or something's chasing them. They can live off the land, so to speak. But no, I like cats, but I've always been very partial to dogs. Now I also like rabbits. I love rabbits as well. I just like all animals.
Yeah.
Because
You're right about cat. We have a cat, and if we like to travel a lot, and man, we can just load up food in the bathroom, load up food in the kitchen, make sure her little potty's right, and go. And we got to take Diffle and Dorfle. We got to take her over to Paws and spend $7,000 to go somewhere. So when we go to travel, it's like we have two budgets. It's like, what are we gonna do with the dogs? And that means we can't go to New York City. We got to go to Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you leave your dog.
That's a big thing. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I leave my dog. I leave my dogs at a place called Paws. It's a really cool spot. They're known there. I think we may keep them in business, but they have their own little spot, and they have a pool that they can go out and get in, and because they're golden retrievers, dude, we get pictures all day long of them just
Because everybody
sitting in
loves
the
a
pool.
golden.
Yeah, no, I mean I do. It was so funny about what you said about him coming and sit his head right here.
Yeah.
Frankie will come just sit his head up and look at you and be like, and he don't want anything. He really don't want anything. It's like, are you hungry? No. You need to go outside? No. I'm just looking at you.
Yep. They
You know, it's great.
You're
I
my
love
dude.
them dogs
You're
to
my
death.
dude. But hey, here's the thing though. You pile all that food up that you would put for your cat. This is where cats will budget it out. My dog, he'll eat
Right.
all of it in one meal, puke, and then starve to death.
Right. Or throw up everywhere.
Yes.
That's cool. That's cool.
A cat, in that way, a cat is a little smarter than a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, our cat that we have is we let him outside during the day so that he can hunt and he can do his cat thing, and then at night he comes inside, stays inside at night, but he also comes upstairs and he lays down and he can actually sleep without being interrupted, without worrying about something attacking him. So, he does that, and the truth about him bringing us prizes, he brings lizards, he brings mice, you name it, he brings it to us as a reward for us.
You're right there by that lake, right?
Care of him. Yeah. So it's really, it's a very, it's their own way of sitting in your lap and staring at you. Mm-hmm. They don't want to be all cuddly all the time, but he'll bring you a mouse, drop it at the floor, and say, "Hey, thank you."
Yeah.
Hey, Lori, I got a test question for you. This is going to test like where you actually really stand with dogs. Have you ever been like, "Oh my God, dog, you are so dumb"? Because I have. So does your love like go past that? You're like, totally, dogs, it doesn't matter what he does, they're cool, or you're like, this dog is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Does that ever happen?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh. No, my love, it covers a multitude of sins.
I love that so much. See, you and my wife get along, and she's like that. I'm like, God, that dog is so stupid. And she's like, that dog is sweet. Leave him alone. I'm like, God.
That's right.
No, I love it. I love that dog. I step in front of a bullet.
Bro, you can see them too, man. You can see those dogs, like you're saying, you can see those dogs that just don't have it, and you just like, but you still got to love them. But yeah.
That's the spot I'm getting to is working out their behavior. Be like, it's cool. He thinks he's doing what. See, I'm into horses, so I get that way more. But I'm like, this dog is doing what he thinks he needs to be doing. And I know that he's got a mouthful of horse crap right now, and he just got finished rolling it, but he thinks that's perfect. And I'm like, this dog is the dumbest thing on the planet, but I don't know why. But I've kind of gotten where I was like, he's just doing dog stuff. He's just a dog doing dog stuff. It's cool.
But
that's
some
great.
like to be stinky.
Yes.
Some dogs like to be stinky.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. And I love them too.
So before we go, the last 2 weeks I've been really fighting something in my soul because that thing that we were talking about. You're looking for that thing to make a difference in the world. Well, this thing that I've been trying to fight about not wanting to do has rolled in from our conversations about bait dogs, and I'm really concerned about because I've have a history of putting my foot in my mouth a lot. I mean, all the way back. If I feel like I need to say something, I say it, and I'm real concerned about getting kicked out of the city. Number one. but and I want to talk to you about this offline too. I want to find a way to do it the right way and try to help but extinguish dog fighting and things like that. So just to let you know where I'm at. Like I don't like whoever I'm talking to. I'm gonna be candid. I'm not going to talk about our conversation. Of course, we're live right now, or on video now. But I'm feeling like that's going to be something that I have in my gut to need to help with.
Yeah.
I actually thought you were going to say that Danny was wanting to get you neutered.
That's another conversation.
That's a different
Okay.
fight, brother.
Yeah.
I like it though. I like
yeah.
it though. Just like I said though, like people get something in their belly, they get something in their heart, they get something in their soul, and that is when things happen.
And that's when your nuts get cut off.
That's right.
That's where I'm at. It's like, yeah. It's on my mind a lot, but it's probably because I like to start the crap up, but I don't know. I don't know if that's I may want to leave that bell unrung, so. But like the things that you put on there when the dogs are injured because of that, those are the ones that tear me apart.
Yeah. Yep.
And y'all know what bait dogs are.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, Jeremy, you know what a bait dog?
I do.
A little bit, yeah. I kind of looked into the. I kind of get it, yeah, like a teaser pony or something. But yeah, yes, not a good thing at all.
Yeah. So that's my struggle right now is ringing. I'm sure I don't want to ring that bell, but because of the conversation and also some of the research I've done. But anyway, back to the good note. You want to tell? Okay, so March 17th, you've got a adventure. If you'll give me the address, I'll put it on the description. A date. Also, we'll talk about a Facebook ad. We're going to have a website up for you in 10 to 14 days, I think. And if you want to, what's your Venmo if anybody wants to help you?
Zeke's Rescued Paws.
Okay, so your Venmo is Zeke's Rescue Paws.
Yep.
And if you have anyone out there that wants to help you with homing a dog.
Or being a foster. I can
Or being a foster.
If I have fosters, guys.
Okay, so your need is people that want dogs.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to send them to your Facebook page for now, and then once we get everything set up, we'll do some really cool things for outreach.
Yeah. And these animals, I said it before, they help people with emotional issues and PTSD, and that's a real thing. I've seen it in action. It helps people get over grief, helps people with anxiety, helps with physical, like blood pressure. And what human does that? Okay, let me be.
Right.
So I love animals. I love the little lizards that are down here. My mom gets nervous because her cat likes to bring presents of lizards into her house, as we talked about. And I said, I love them. And I like the little green tree frogs that make a lot of noise during the summer. I love it all.
I think that's Chris, that's really a beautiful perspective. And I think if you look around in the world today, there's a lot of sick people, there are a lot of hurting people. And I think that and even if they have all the money in the world and a beautiful wife, husband, family, kids, there's something missing. And a lot of people will, a lot of people go to religion for that, and I think that's fantastic. I think that we are absolutely wired for connection, and we've gotten to where we don't want it from other people. So it's really easy to get it from nature, dogs, and for me, it was horses. It just struck a chord, and that's what's helped me with dogs and in nature. But I think that we all have to use like something you'd hear in church, like you got a hole in your body that only God goes in, right? Well, and I'm good with that. I believe in that. But I think there's also holes in you for these. There's something you need to put in there, and a dog is a great thing. And so,
God sends these animals to help us.
Yeah. Absolutely. Horses too. All animals, they have a function, and that's what's so crazy about it. They have a circle of life, a function.
Can
that's
I
really
share
great.
a story real quick?
Yeah.
So the other day, this is what I do. Okay, so I lease new construction homes in my full-time job. So I was driving around the complex that I work at, and one of the residents had her two dogs out. And I always keep extra supplies in the back of my car because I never know if I'm going to come up on somebody that needs it. So I saw her and I screeched on my brakes, and I get out and I said, can I give your two babies some toys? And she goes, sure, yes. She said, the one dog that she had the last time, she goes, she loved the little toy that you gave her. And I says, her. So I got in the back of the car and I got him on some toys, and I got him a treat. And then she goes, ma'am, there's somebody trying to get around you. And I was like, oh, well, they can go around. She goes, no, your car door's open. So I was like, oh, hold on. So I shut the door, and then I went back to playing, because if I see a dog, anytime I see a dog, I stop and play with it.
That's cool.
So, I said goodbye to the resident, and I went back in, and it was one of my my future residents. She started laughing at me. She said, Chris, you really love those animals, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, what? I don't understand. What do you mean? She goes, I was the one that was trying to get around you.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, I tell you, you got a spot in my heart, and Danny has just been telling everybody about you.
Oh.
So she loves you to death.
I appreciate you guys letting me tell this story. Not for me. I don't care a thing about me. This is all about the dogs. I care nothing for this. It's all about getting these dogs homes.
Sure.
That's good stuff.
It is good stuff.
My sheet's clear, brother. Matt, you got anything else, Jeremy?
Really quickly, I don't have a whole lot. I think it's lovely what you're doing. It resonates with me. I think it resonates with a lot of people, because what is at the bottom of it? I'm a big believer in the fundamentals of life. The important things in life are very, very, very basic, and that is a very basic thing. And it's love, joy, connection is a basic thing. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I agree. I mean, it's an animal can do so much that you just never expect it to be able to do. It can, like you said earlier, it might cure somebody's blood pressure, that anytime this animal's around, their blood pressure is just bottoming. But, it takes a lot to be able to do what you do, and the heart that you have to do that. I got to agree. You're on up there in my book.
Yeah. To both their points, I think that people in life, and I'll be short, I'm long-winded, but people in life, there's always something that gets in the way. I went 20 years without listening to music. And me and my boy right there, we used to listen to music all the time. Whether we'd be both of them, we'd be in the cars. It'd be late at night. Hey, did you hear anything about that girl? Nobody heard nothing but Kicks 106 top 10 zone right now. You just always, I always put stuff with music. And for about 20 years, the music that was in that 20 years, I have no memories of, because I didn't have dogs.
Wow.
I stopped listening to music. I got just caught up in life, and the wrong side of life. And I tell you, about 17 years ago, I changed and started listening to music again, started, just doing things. And it's a long story short, I think the big thing that you do is as important as listening to music. Dogs, cats, animals, having them, just like Jeremy said, my blood pressure went down. Having that moment in your life when you're just about to explode and you look up and you see that little guy just looking at you like, I ain't done anything wrong, come play with me. And then you go out for 30 minutes and I think that, man, what you're doing is amazing. That's why we have jumped on, and I think it's going to be fantastic. I really do. I think you're awesome.
Thank you, sir. Very the thing of it is, I don't see what you guys are saying.
Right, and that's when you know you're in the right spot.
Yeah.
It's absolutely when you know you're in the right spot. So, well, okay, guys. Anybody else? Everybody good? Wrap up?
It was nice.
Good deal. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Thank you.